Sup. Welcome to part 0. I've just filmed part 4 actually. I need to explain what we're doing here. So you need to see part 0 first. So this is the model I made. We're not going to use the exact numbers and sizes and things, so don't worry about non-disclosure or whatever if anyone is worried about that. Dimensions are all going to be different, but this is the end product. This is for education, people. Don't sue me. We need to teach the next generation. Free as well, by the way. So, importantly, let's look at the elements. These are beams. We're going to use the same size. Well, we're going to use 1.5 meters in height. I think you need to know that just to show you some scale. I'm going to change up all the other sizes though. So if engineering wise it looks wrong to you, shut up. Basically, let's look at it from this angle. As you can see, if we go front ways, this comes in and that comes in at an angle. Now what these are doing is they're going into a wall. So if you look at this, imagine, so this is going to be copied down here as well. You know what, let me HR 1 2 3 HI. Interesting. Well, looks like I need to change my model a little bit. You'll probably see that in part 5. But what's going to happen is underneath this core here is going to end. Just imagine this bit, isn't it? Anyway, what's going to happen is the cantilever is going to go into these walls. Sorry, not the cantilever. These things are coming down at an angle and going in. These things are cast. These bars will go inside. Well, it's probably this way, inside this wall there, and the other ones, the other side, will go inside that wall, perfectly perfectly aligned. So let's look at each individual element so you know what you're going to learn here. This is fully parametric, so if I go to type properties and say edit type and say number of studs 10 in the rows, and number of threaded bars 7. Yep, and they're done differently. Sorry, they're arrayed slightly differently. So these 10 bars are arrayed from that point to that point, and we can add as many as we want in between. These 6 bars are arrayed from this point to this point, and any added on will be added on the end. Key difference, there's a big difference there. So I'm just gonna say Control Z. Better close that before someone sees some dimension or size or something. This comes in here like that, and when we move this one up, connection moves with it. Yeah. Same here. We've got a connection in there. We're going to model those parametrically. We do them parametrically so that we can reuse them. Shear keys. That's what they look like. They're 2 beams with stiffeners, and then the beam underneath. In between. HR. Type that. Some stiffeners in here. A plate to connect that. Some bracing, except I'm going to show bracing connections as well. I really want to model those. We'll probably do those at the end. And this beauty right here, I actually modeled these. We had models at work and they I wanted to create a better one because I thought I could create one where we could tag these things, the actual elements. I mean, I spent a lot of time on it and it did work to a certain degree, but there were problems with it. So, but listen, I created these bolts as individual elements. This is a really cool family thing. I had to get rid of the tagging feature for a certain reason. It just wasn't working when I loaded in, so I had to leave it. Well, oh, sorry. Also, crane tires. I didn't model these on the job that I worked on, but I will model these in this. I'll show you how to make these exactly like that. I still don't know how to do that, by the way, but by the time I get to that point, I will know how to model beams, my own beams, because that's the one thing I don't know how to do yet. Here again, these will be parametric, yeah? So your connection, this is actually going to be a looped connection. We didn't have time to do that on the real project, but the point is we will. I'll explain how these work in a minute. Terex connections they are. And then this is the connection to the Terex connection, and then that connects to the tie, which connects to the collar. Then we have two here and a slightly different connection there. These are modeled as a group, but this is a group within a group, I thought, but maybe not. Okay, no, an embedded group, I thought. So once you model this one, if I make any changes, by the way, changes that one too, so nothing impressive to you if you're experienced guy, but if you're new to this, you might be impressed by that. So there you go. By the way, this floor is indicative. Let me tell you something about what is going on here. In real life, this whole floor will extend out there. However, during the building process, we can only build the floor up to here because this crane is used to build the core. So once we get to a certain level, we're going to hang this off the building. That to me, by the way, is still crazy. I can't believe they do that, and it's all good. I would never jump up and climb up that crane knowing it's just hanging off a building like that. Anyway, so the crane on here, I'm not going to model a whole crane. That's a lot of work. Normally you'd load in a crane model if you have to show it. Impressive if you can make one. Maybe someday I might do them. Well, I don't think I will, but that would make an impressive video, I'm sure. But people probably wouldn't want to. Oh, sorry, one thing I forgot to mention: structural stiffeners. There you go. You'll learn how to model those parametrically. Oh, and you'll also be able to cut these, cope them. Various different methods we'll look at, or maybe I'll pick one and we'll do that one. We'll see at the time. We'll see how we go, how we push for time. By the way, it does look like these are overlapping a little bit. I'll show you how to fix that. Well, in the model I make, that won't be a problem. See, this one's fine. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that one. Anyway, yeah, overall it's a decent model. I know I've spent 10 minutes talking about this, but some of you might be excited by this, really fired up in that. One thing I will say, these are not part of the family. I couldn't really get that to work. They're just rebars that have been modeled in. Anyway, so what's happened is this cantilever's off while they construct the core, and then later on this part of the floor is modeled in. So in my example, here it is, they're resting on the floor there. This core, by the way, is going to change, so ignore that. Just imagine it ends here. Just imagine we chop it there, and there's nothing to the right, because the cores below are like this, but not on this floor. It shouldn't be like that on this floor. Anyway, we'd probably model to there and then model the rest of the floor later once the core is all finished. I don't know exactly how they do it. There's different ways of doing it. Maybe they'll model around, I don't know. But just so you know, this is the building we're going to be doing. We're going to be modeling that. This is very basic, so don't be too intimidated. It's just a bunch of floors and a bunch of walls modeled at one spot and then copied up in 1 or 2-3 clicks, and you can copy them all up. It's fine. And you'll get to play around with the colors and things like that, and transparencies. So please do enjoy this. Like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. Also, before you go, let me show you this little family here. Let me turn on properties because this is my model. Don't need to hide any of this. I can say edit type, change the spacing to 3000, for example. Change its height to 25,000, so that's 25 meters. And there you go. Now it's even higher. You didn't see that move, but you did see them widen. Just know that they did move higher. The height moved up. And you can even change the column size. So if a crane has a certain size column, you can just change it instantly. And then you can of course rename it to whatever you want. Maybe a certain crane would have a certain name, brand name, or whatever, certain model number. Sorry, not model number, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the videos coming up. I hope you can learn something. As I said, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next video. That's part 1.